So welcome back to the Oral Health Podcast. We've got a two-part special here for you in connection with our Safe Smiles campaign, which is now launching to the public. If you've got a story that you want to share with us, please get in touch and listen to the end of the episode for more details. This episode, Karen and myself are going to discuss Safe Smiles in a little bit more detail, what the campaign is, what it means for people like you and me, and also discuss some of the stories that we've heard in our research for this campaign. Should be a really interesting conversation. Well, thank you for joining me again, Karen. I've got a slightly different topic today. So you may or may not know the latest campaign that we have set up and started running is called Safe Smiles, and that's going to cover lots of different things we'll talk about. But today we're focusing on direct-to-consumer orthodontics, which to me and you just means companies that will make aligners somewhere completely separate and then ship them to you, and it completely cuts the dentist and orthodontist out of the process. So we're going to hear from Karen, who's with me now. How are you doing, Karen?
Well, apart from a cold, I'm okay. I'm hoping my voice lasts out for you.
Okay. You got to get that husk going on the voice. It's
Absolutely,
nice.
Yeah.
But I know we've spoke a lot about these companies and the Safe Smiles initiative that we're running. And yeah, I think that sums up DIY ortho fairly well, of just these companies that make the aligners in I assume a warehouse or something, and then just ship them to you. And it's all based off a 3D scan or an impression that you do yourself at home. And you'll never see sight nor sound of a dentist.
Yeah, and to some people that will probably sound like a bonus. However, as we know, there are things in the mouth are not straightforward. There are things that can go wrong with orthodontics, as well as making you get your dream smile. I mean, certainly the premises that I've seen are all beautifully lit, and they all look so professional and so nice, and not like a dental practice at all. And it can be very tempting for people, I think, to cut that corner. And I know certainly when they have the pop-up ones, especially around Christmas, it could be something that somebody thinks, wow, I'm going to get a good smile. This will be my Christmas present to myself. And I think, you have to take a step back. This is not simple treatment. It can't be done overnight. It needs thought about it. So don't be tempted. Take a step back and think, would I let somebody who wasn't qualified do fillings on me? We're talking about the same kind of dentistry. Orthodontic treatment is a feat of engineering, really, because for most people you're having to rotate teeth in the right position. You're pulling them back, you're pushing them forward, but you're not wanting all the teeth to go in the same direction. So that's when you could get the problem. And it may not be because you're not actually seeing a dentist or an orthodontist every time you change a aligner or every other aligner. You're not those problems can't be caught up with. So a dentist would notice if the teeth weren't moving in the direction that was expected. So you might go a long way through the aligners and end up with the teeth not in the position that you want. And it's all well and good showing somebody on a computer a 3D scan of how your teeth are and how they expect them to be at the end of the treatment. But that may not be feasible. I mean, your end result will be down to how they can move your teeth. And if your teeth are not going to move in that direction, you're not going to get that. And I think that's where a lot of people are finding problems with these kind of direct services, because the expectation is much, much higher than the actual result. And we're finding so many people having to have remedial treatment, which is running into thousands of pounds. So, cutting the corners and trying to save a little bit of money just is not right in the long run. I mean, you could end up spending much more and causing permanent damage to your teeth as well.
I like to liken it to look at it the same as you would your eyes. You might, pass a an optician's that sees they're offering laser eye surgery, get your eyes corrected right now, it'd be really, really simple. And then you get in there and they're not opticians, they're just trained to use the machine. And they want you to sit down in front of this thing and have it, laser your eyes. Would you trust it? No, I personally
Absolutely
would not.
not.
I rely
No.
on my eyes, funnily enough, but it's the same sort of thing. You wouldn't trust someone to mess around with your teeth. And, for some people, I'm sure they get through it without the issues, but
The people that get through it without any issues are the ones that don't need very much adjustment.
yeah, or
But,
have very healthy teeth.
well, yeah, I mean, and the people that honestly probably don't need orthodontic treatment, but you've got people, you're preying on people really who are probably very, very unhappy with their smile. I was looking at some research earlier, and 4 out of 5 people are not happy with the way their teeth look. And 20% of people actually put their hand over their face in photographs. So if you're looking at that number of people that are unhappy with their smile, these places are so tempting. And the results, if the result doesn't work for you and you you're even more unhappy with your teeth, that's going to cause all sorts of problems, not just dental problems, but psychological problems as well.
Yeah.
So, it's better to pay the money, get what you're going to, what you expect. A dentist or an orthodontist will give you a realistic result. They will tell you what they're able to do and what they're not able to do.
You're right. And, we know from talking to people that it has such a mental. If you think about how you feel when you've got a bit of toothache or you've got an ulcer or you just feel a bit run down, having that constantly and paying for the privilege is what a lot of people tend to go through with these things, because there isn't the professional there to go, oh, well, if you're feeling this way, it might be this. Let's have a look. And that's not the experience people have when you cut that corner. It's an
No.
important corner to cut, you know?
Well, there's nothing like having that reassurance that everything is going to plan and everything is working the way it should do. What if you think, oh, perhaps that pain's normal, perhaps it's supposed to feel like this, perhaps that tooth is supposed to have moved in that direction. You've got no one to check that with. And,
Mm-hmm.
having regular contact with somebody who, can reassure you and tell you and slightly tweak the treatment if necessary, because,
Yeah.
what you kind of think is going to be the treatment plan at the start of treatment may need tweaking halfway through when you're looking at how the teeth are moving,
Mm-hmm.
how the patient is dealing with the appliance. There might be tweaks and changes that need doing. So
Yeah.
that's the benefit of having somebody there with you.
Yeah. And, we had a young girl that got in touch with us who she's a young parent, she's a young mum, and she's like, I can't spare a lot of money, but I was really unhappy with my smile. And I had one like skew-if tooth and I just wanted to change it. And I was assured it was going to be really simple. And so went through the process, sent the aligners off, the impressions off, got them back. And because of the way they'd been made, they were like really rough because the material's not that great, surprisingly. And it was rubbing against the insides of her gums. And the rubbing had created cuts where bacteria was getting in, and she had a huge abscess in the back of her mouth. Not in the back of her mouth, like the podcast listeners can't see what I'm doing, but that bit.
The palate.
The palate. Thank you, Karen. That's why you're here. But she had to go and spend loads of money at emergency dentists, loads of money on antibiotics, and still having to wear the treatment because she thought, I've come this far. If I stop now, it's all for nothing. And she's like, it's given her really terrible mental health issues, like diagnosable mental health issues are traced back to this experience because she can't sleep, she's in so much pain, she feels like she can't be a mum to her daughter because she's in so much pain she can't be there. And it broke my heart. And it's why we're doing this, to be quite frank, because we need to let people know, A, if you're going through it, come and talk to us and we can try and help you, and B, if you walk past a smile shop, keep walking and don't go in, because you just don't want to roll the dice with your health. Why would you risk it?
No, not at all. And for every one person who is happy with the result that they get, we've
Hmm.
probably got another 5 who are not. And,
Yeah.
cases are coming up all the time. And as you say, permanent damage to the gums, that's not a great trade-off. Your teeth still aren't going to be particularly straight, but you're going to have
Yeah.
another issue as well to
Hmm.
deal with. So I think it's
Yeah.
we know that there are always going to be people who will risk it and cut corners, but we want to give them the 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 tools to know that if you take that risk, this is what you're risking.
Yeah.
Some people will still do it. We know that because people do cut corners, but we want them to go in with they know what the risks are, because so many people are going in having these treatments and they don't know what the risks are, because the company's certainly not going to tell them, because nobody in these places are dentally trained.
No,
They're
not
not
one.
going to be able to give you any dental information at all. So that's really scary.
Yeah. And her story is quite an extreme one. There are smaller things that are not small things, but like we've had one girl had a cavity in her tooth, so she went to it wasn't picked up, went and had these scans done, aligners made, thought it was great. Then went and had a check at the dentist, who wanted to put a filling in her cavity because it was a big hole in her tooth. And she was like, "Oh no, please don't fill my cavity because then my aligners won't fit." And then the dentist had looked at the
Yeah.
aligners and thought, "Yeah, they've scanned it, picked up the hole, and because the dentist isn't there to go, that's a hole, don't put plastic in it." They just made the aligners to dip into the hole so that it could never be filled while she was having the treatment. How can something that straightforward be missed? But it is, and it's happening so often that it's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
I mean, at the least, a patient, they should be asking for a certificate of oral health, at least. So, where a patient has actually been for a checkup at a dentist and they are dentally fit. That's the
Mhm.
least I would expect, but they're not asking for that at all. As I say, you could be,
Yeah.
gone out to buy a pair of slippers for your granny for Christmas, and you come back and yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You need to think about it. If you're going to spend that kind of money on anything else, it wouldn't be an impulse buy. You need to go and think about the treatment plan, what you're expecting from it, and realistically, is it something you're going to be able to achieve?
Hmm.
Else you might as well just take the £2,000, burn it in the street, and have dental problems as well. So it's not worth it. Not worth it.
And I will admit, to give it, the devil's advocate, I'm not their target. I might be young and I might, maybe have a little bit of crooked teeth, but I'm not an impulse person. It takes me about 10 minutes to
No,
decide what socks I want to put on. Or like, I'm not the person that's going to go out and just go, "Oh, yeah, let's just risk it." But, people do. And like you said, we know people are going to do it, but just know what you're risking, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know we've went a little bit off topic there. Well, not really, just sort of talked a lot. We're both really passionate about this, so just sort of yapped for a bit. So I think what we'll do, we'll hear from Anshu next time. We're just going to go through one of our case studies, Jessica, her story, and pick apart the different key bits that an orthodontist has flagged as this is a worrying thing. But I think, I don't
Yeah.
know about you, Karen, my bit of advice with this is, if you're going to go into one of them, if you ask them a question about your mouth and they can't answer
Mm-hmm.
it, run. Or they try and
Mm-hmm.
tell you to look for yourself. It's like, no
Yeah.
question's ever too
I
stupid
mean,
to ask.
no, absolutely not. And I think that we should possibly put a list of questions somewhere on our website that
Yeah.
we can point people to ask when they're going. I mean, certainly the main one that I would be asking is, are you registered with the General Dental Council?
Mm-hmm.
What is your GDC registration number?
Yeah.
And what are you registered as? Because they have to be a dentist. A hygienist can do impressions, as can a dental nurse. The dental nurse needs extra training to be able to do it, but they both can only do it on the prescription of a dentist. So there has to be a dentist there to tell them to do it.
That's an important point as well, because on prescription doesn't just mean, oh, a dentist has said that I'm qualified to do this. It means the dentist is there with you, with the patient, going, yes, this patient can have impressions. It's like a bespoke approval. That's it's right. Not just I trust my dental nurse to do that. I'm going to go away and have a cup of tea. Like, that's not how.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is important, because that's not something I knew until you told me this morning, and I went, oh. So I wouldn't have thought to question.
You know, if you were spending that much money on a house, or, you know, having your car fixed, you would want to know what they're doing, what they're going to use to do it, what their qualifications are to do it. You know, you want a mechanic to fix your car. You want a dentist to do your teeth. I mean, it's as simple as.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's stick to your training, really.
Yeah. But I'll let you go and go back to bed with some Lemsip now, Karen, because I think
Lemsip now.
She's given me the eye of when she's going to shut up. Let me go. But it's nice
to not to have a coffee fit. Yeah, and you, as always.
Yeah.
Next time I won't be so Barry White. I'll be back to my normal dulcet tones.
So if you've got a story to share related to direct-to-consumer orthodontics, please get in touch, because we do want to hear from you and we want to help however we can. So get in touch at dentalhealth.org/safe smiles. You can email mail@dentalhealth.org and just put Safe Smiles story in the subject header, and you can always call us as well. All of the links to our support services and telephone numbers will be in the description of this podcast. And if you do want to get in touch, please don't hesitate. We would be really happy to hear from you. Now, next time, like I say, we're going to hear from Anshu, who is a orthodontist with the British Orthodontic Society. She's going to tell us all about why exactly these companies pose a little bit more of a danger than you may initially think, and also going to pick apart Jessica's story and identify some of the red flags that she herself has picked up on.